I have more Dollar Tree sewing hacks for you today. In my recent haul, I found 9 more items that you need in your sewing room. So come along with me to the Dollar Tree. We are going to be shopping in every section of the store, finding things that we can use for our sewing room. I'll be sharing a few DIYs, organization hacks, and a few supplies that will make sewing so much easier. After you see this video, you are going to be running to the Dollar Tree to get these supplies. Before you head off, click the link in the description below to download my printable shopping list. So let's dig into my bag and see what's inside. This first project is probably my favorite. We're gonna grab a mini picture frame from the picture frame aisle. This is styled as a table placer, maybe for a wedding, but we are going to open it up and use it to make a pin cushion. So you're also gonna need some stuffing and a piece of fabric. I'm just using a leftover charm square, but you can use a scrap and a glue gun and glue sticks. So open up the picture frame and then we're gonna take the back off and take out the piece of paper inside and the glass. We're not going to need the glass, so you can set that aside. Then we're going to use the little piece of paper inside as a template to cut out a piece of cardstock. Just any thicker paper, cardboard, or even a cereal box will work for this. Now we're going to glue the fabric to this little piece of cardboard. So flip your fabric over. Just start gluing with your glue gun and wrapping the fabric around to the cardboard. This fabric's a little big. You want about 1 inch around on each side of the cardboard. And then we're gonna have more fabric than we have cardboard. So you're just gonna kind of gather it a little bit with the glue gun. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna look good once we get it in the picture frame. This is gonna give us a billowy top that will make our pin cushion fluff out of the picture frame. Once you have done 3 sides, we're going to leave the 4th side open and stuff it with your stuffing. Just stuff it until you like the way it looks. Then add glue and flip that 4th side over. This one's a little trickier since we have stuffing in there. I just use my fingers for this, but if you have sewing clips, that will help you hold the glue while it dries. Once the glue has dried, we are just gonna stick this into our picture frame as if it were a picture, and it's gonna puff out the front, making an adorable display for pins. I love how cute and chic this is, and it is perfect next to your sewing machine to keep your pins handy. Next, head to the cosmetics section. I found these really cute Hexagon holders. They have makeup sayings on them, eyes, face, and lips, but the back side doesn't have anything, so I just flipped it around to make the cutest little storage to set beside my sewing machine. This is perfect for holding pens, turning tools, rotary cutters, seam rippers, and pencils. I love that the little sections are different heights for different things. Here's another organizing hack. This is found in the organizing section, and these are really nice acrylic storage containers. They're only $1.25 each, and they are a really nice sturdy plastic. I love these because they're sectioned off and they're great for holding things like bobbins, elastic, clips, just any notions. I put these in a larger organizer to keep everything separated. The best part is these stack because they're so thick and nice. Next, we're going back to the picture frame aisle and grabbing one of these really cute 4x6 photo albums. I'm going to show you how to make an on-the-go embroidery kit with this album. For this project, grab some scrapbook or cardstock paper, cut down to 4x6 pieces, and then I'm using 2 charm squares. So I'm just going to glue the sides of the fabric to the paper, but not glue the middle. I'm just going to put these right on that charm square, and this is going to give me a place to put my needles inside of the photo album so that they're protected and won't snag on anything. Trim off that excess fabric. Now stick the embroidery needles into the fabric to keep them organized. You can even use the top of the paper to label what type of needles they are. Once that's done, you can stick your 4x6 paper with the needles right into your first photo flap. For the next one, I'm going to cut slits in the paper and fabric and then wrap embroidery thread around. This is great if you don't need a lot of embroidery thread or if you just have a couple colors, and then this will slip right into the photo album page again. For the other pages, you can add embroidery floss bobbins. You can even stick in a pair of little scissors. And now you have an on-the-go embroidery kit. This is great for hand sewing and embroidery projects. Now we're going back to the beauty section and grabbing a pedicure kit. These come in a bunch of colors, and we are going to use them to help us organize our stray bobbins. These bobbins are great in those acrylic holders, but some of them have threads coming off, so that's where these toe separators will come in handy. So there's 2 in this pack. You also get a nail file and like a cuticle thing. Make sure your thread on your bobbin is wrapped up, and then just stick it right inside that toe separator, and these will hold the rest of the thread on and keep them in place so that your threads don't get tangled. Each toe separator holds 4 bobbins, and this is just a super fast way to make sure your bobbins stay wound. Next, grab some chalk. Chalk is great for marking on fabric. This is just found in the school supply section. And here's a secret, tailor's chalk is the same kind of chalk as school chalk. Just use that blunt edge to mark your fabric. You can use this on darker colors, but it also works on lighter colors. While you're in the school supplies section, grab some number 2 pencils. These are already sharpened, which is nice, and these are a Crayola brand. So we're going to tape 2 of these together to create a seam allowance adder. So all of my patterns on my website include seam allowance, so don't do this with my patterns, but if you're using another pattern that doesn't have seam allowance, tape 2 pencils together and then trace the size that you are using, and this will just add a seam allowance right onto it. You'll just need some backing paper, tape your pattern piece to that paper, then carefully trace the outer line. Your pencil is going to create 2 marks, one for the current pattern size and one for the added seam allowance. So when you go to cut out your fabric, use that outer line. So this will take out all the measuring of adding seam allowance. The next hack can be found in the kitchen section. This is a serving bowl, and it's just $1.25. This is a really nice big size. Sometimes when I'm making blankets or quilts, I want the corners to be rounded, but it's really hard to measure to get a rounded corner. So this hack involves just grabbing that bowl and using it to trace the corner to round it out. Make sure you line up the sides of the bowl with the straight edges and then trace the corner. Then you can just cut along that line that you drew. I recommend using a fabric marker for this. This is also a great hack if you need a circular piece of fabric. You can trace the entire bowl to get that perfect circle. And while you're in the kitchen section, we are going to pick up a funnel set. This is $1.25 and you get 3 funnels, which is so great. I use funnels all the time in my sewing to fill things up. So a lot of times I will use them for bean bags or lavender sachets, or even sometimes I pour glitter into projects. And I always have to go looking in the kitchen for a funnel. So this way I have my own set in the sewing room. They also have funnels in the craft section of the Dollar Tree, but they are tiny and won't hold very much. I think those are really just for glitter. So these ones are in the kitchen section and are great for sewing projects. For more Dollar Tree sewing hacks, click above.